Hey guys, welcome back to the Hear Me Roar pod. I am Tobi and my co-host is none other than the Kate Save, which you might know her from Shark Tank. She's also founder of BeFit Foods and picked up Telstra's Business of the Year award too. Kate?
Well, Tobi, you've got a super impressive CV, 25 years in global commercialisation experience, and you founded Creative Cubes, Australia's leading co-working space and real estate business.
All right, let's get on with the pod. Kate?
Welcome back to the pod.
Yeah, another week, another great guest coming on. Tony Kofkin. Kofkin and Bond is his company. I've known Tony for a long time, a long, long time. I want to say I've known Tony since 2003, maybe 2004.
Well, I heard he holds a world record. Do you hold any records?
Not that I can talk of.
No, I don't either. No. But can't wait for him to share. He's
an amazing guy. He actually has his own podcast as well. So it'd be great to have him on. What's happening in your world otherwise?
Traveling, actually.
Yeah, you're
so
heading
excited.
away later today?
Yes, I am heading to Tassie, actually.
That's right.
Yes.
And I'm going to see you in Adelaide, I think, in November.
Absolutely.
I want you to be there for Pitch for a Spot.
Cannot
as
wait.
a guest judge.
I did a Venture Crowd one the other week.
Oh, yeah?
I loved being on the shark side of Shark Tank instead of being in the tank.
Yeah.
It was great.
Super interesting. Actually, Nick Bell and Tony Kofkin got together and have done some stuff together. Was Nick a shark when you were on?
No. But I have interviewed Nick on the show. And no, I had Janine Ellis and Naomi from Red Balloon, Steve Baxter, Glenn from the Pet. Yeah. And the American guy, I forget his name.
I actually never watched the Australian version of it. Mark Cuban was my guy when I was watching the US. In fact, Cubes was named after Cuban. Yeah, I know it's like Creative Cubes, creative being the people inside the office cubicle.
Oh, wow.
But actually, he was on Shark Tank and he laid out an entrepreneur and I went, oh, Cubes, you didn't. I went, hold on a second, went straight to GoDaddy and bought the domain.
Oh,
so that's my Shark Tank sort of parlay. But
so someone hit the dust and you jackpotted from that?
Well, yeah, it was just how he called him out. I went, oh, Cubes, no.
Yeah.
And I was like, Cubes, cubicle, office cubicle, toilet.
Yeah.
Creative Cubes.
Love it.
We will hear from our guests, or actually our partners at Rise, and then we'll have our guest, Tony Kofkin, on after the break. Guys, I want to introduce you to Rise, a business cohort like no other. So what is the Rise Network? Rise Network is a curated inner circle of 10 to 12 like-minded peers designed to provide a confidential, high-trust environment where business owners and leaders can gain strategic insights, actionable solutions, and lasting relationships. Rise isn't just networking, it's a game-changing business support system. It has strategic problem solving built in, expert facilitation, actionable insights, long-term impact and authentic relationships, and it's based exclusively around high-trust cohorts. For your membership, you gain full access to Creative Cubes. That means you can drop in when you're on the run to use the meeting rooms, breakout spaces, or even just dock in for the day. We wanted to serve the underserved, the people that do need the help, do need the support, don't necessarily have the funds to be able to do it, and don't necessarily fit into one of these other organizations. And so that's where Rise kind of came from. So there you have it, guys. Go to werise.au, and I hope to see you at one of our cohorts soon. Tony.
Hello, Toby. Good to see you again, as always.
Man. This is great. I mean, we've done a bunch of full circles, you and I.
We certainly have.
Yeah, it started off you training for the Ironman.
Again, after a 20-year break, hiatus from the sport in building a business, and had a challenge from some of my old teammates in Canada. Let's do the 20-year reunion. And
amazing.
I think I was coming in about 116 kilos when I got that email through, and it was just like, I love a challenge. So
yeah, so I used to be in my previous life be a personal trainer.
Me too.
And then I was moonlighting with personal training and pet loo. And then I gave personal training up to pursue pet loo. And Tony's been in and out of all those journeys along the way.
So cool. So you hold a world record. Tell us about that.
It's not a time-based world record, but I still believe I am the youngest person in the world to have completed an Ironman distance triathlon in 4 different decades. Oh. So being the 80s, the 90s, the noughties and the 10s.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I was 41 and 5 months when I got that.
Oh.
So, I mean, it was late 80s when I first did my first one, but I was 18 at the time. And then, so I was based in Canada for a couple of years and then successfully got extremely large over a 2-decade period of building a business, which is when I met Tobi before he'd married Sim. And I was at the wedding up in the Gold Coast. So I decided, well, I have to start getting fit again. And it was wearing the baggy white T-shirt on a treadmill, having a sweat, and Tobi working me hard. And
so good. And how long did that weight loss journey take?
I pretty much lost 14 kilos in the space of around about 5 months. Yeah, it came off me pretty quickly.
Yeah. Food change as well as movement?
Definitely a food change. I had just become a single dad and started a newish relationship, but I was a single dad for a period of time, raising 2 young boys who Tobi remembers when they were young. They're nearly 29 and 26.
I got a shock because I came on, I think it was early days, I came on your podcast.
That's correct, yeah.
And one of your boys, Josh,
that's right,
was behind the camera.
Yeah, he would have been about, so he was born in 96, so he might have been about 5 or 6 when he used to come with me some mornings when no one there to look after him, so I brought him to training with me, which is always fun.
Amazing. Tony, would you consider yourself a professional investor?
I am on a personal level, so I have taken stakes in companies personally with some of my other shareholders, and we professionally invest, obviously, on behalf of over 1,100 people in Australia as well, both Sydney and Melbourne predominantly. So I
honestly, genuinely think about you every time I go to make a little investment with my self-managed super fund. You'd be very proud of me. My
always have been. Tony.
Well, yeah, but in this arena, it might be kind of like the arena for you when you first came to me as hey, I need your help getting fit and being back on the Ironman circuit. My self-managed super fund is actually going gangbusters. I've got some really great stocks that I bought into. I missed one, which was Oklo. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. No. It's I think it's an energy business, but it's a nuclear energy. Okay. And I was on an airplane from Boston to LA, then down to Australia in April. And I was showing this guy I was sitting next to, like how my stocks were performing. He's like, I'll give you a hot tip, invest in this. It was like $8 at the time, so like $78. I missed it, but it's sitting just outside of my portfolio, and I watch it every day. I'm like, damn, like it was a tip from a stranger, and I was like, but.
Do you know none of those hot tips have ever personally worked for me? But it's
I was so skeptical.
Yeah, it's I'd never bet the house on a hot tip, put it that way. But you have those moments where you do kick yourself. So there was a little investment which is still quite controversial to this day. It's called Bitcoin, and when it was at a certain price, which I'll share in a moment, but I was getting so confused trying to set up the wallet back then. It wasn't all that long ago, but it was really, really difficult trying to set up that damn wallet. And I just said, this is stupid. And I just gave up in the end. But I was going to buy just 20 grand worth of Bitcoin at $250.
What's it now? It's like 100,000?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, so I
would that be a $20 million payout?
Listen, I am in it now, but it's certainly not worth $20 million at all.
So I got into Palantir. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Palantir.
So. Yeah.
I just really like Alex Karp. I think he's a true leader. I got into Palantir.
It's interesting because he's actually very controversial, but I actually really like that and they've done amazing things. We have exposure there as well.
Yeah, so I bought in at $28. I think today it's like at $177.
Not bad.
And I bought a lot of it. Not only did I buy a lot of it, my daughter Maddie, she had a bit of money. And I said to her, Maddie, let's buy some Tesla and let's buy some Palantir. Maddie is crushing it. She's literally crushing it. She bought Tesla at $220. It's now over nearly close to, past 400 this week.
Yep.
And she bought Palantir, I think, at $56. And it's now at 177.
Oh, good.
And it's USD against the AUD. So she got kicked a little bit, not kicked, but like she had to take the exchange rate on the way in, but on the way out, the exchange rate's probably more favorable.
This is not advice to young Maddie, but tell her definitely not to sell number one. But secondly, it's a case of because she'll have to pay minus tax, which is horrific in this country.
Yes.
Because neither of them pay dividends, they just have growth. There's no tax declaration. But
yes,
yeah.
So none of this, by the way,
unless
is she
a US citizen?
She's a US citizen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Which might actually be where she ends up residing as well, unless this country can pass through its dark times. We agreed not to go into politics on this.
We've only got a few minutes.
We agree on the political stuff, but we're not here to talk about that. No, with Maddie, it's not buy and sell. With Maddie, it's buy and hold.
Good.
And if you've got more money, let's add some more money to it. But I want you to hold it for 10 years. Yeah. I believe that, and I'm interested to understand your perspective on this all, but I believe in Tesla. I believe in the future of robotics. I feel, sustainable energy, everything that's going on in that world right now. It's not just cars, the AI that they're about to inject, or it's already injected into their ecosystem.
Tesla's a robot company. It just happens to have 4 wheels, but it's a robot company.
For now, it's going to have 2 feet after, or soon enough.
It's coming out.
It's coming. Oculus. Or Optimus.
He's got the hands working.
Well, did you hear him talk about that on the All-In?
Actually, that's what I was listening to
They were
this
laughing
morning.
about the hands. Oh, that actually, I was like, actually, he's right.
Yeah.
They're having a hard time developing the hands. And that's because our hands are like, he said something like...
It's that digit. It's called a thumb.
Yeah.
Which has made us so different than every other primate on Earth because we actually have a thumb that we can actually use. And that was one of the things, is trying to get the robot to be able to actually... Well, one of the interesting parts is actually making them to... Humans have created the world we live in today.
Yes.
And the basis behind that is, so why try to create something which is going to change everything that humans have created? So the idea of actually making robots that actually have movable thumbs like we do.
And it's complicated. He went on to say, like, you can think about your hands, right? You can make the food that you eat.
Yeah.
It can thread a needle.
Yeah.
It can drive the car.
Yeah.
It can write a note. It can type on the key. Like, there's the versatility of our hands.
Yeah.
They're having a hard time with the final development. They're very close to it.
See, with my hands, I used a keyboard with only 1 thumb, 2 fingers, and 2 fingers.
Right.
so I can't use all of them.
Yeah, fair enough. But to the point, it's quite challenging. But I believe Tesla will be somewhere, if it doesn't split and it stays as it is today, it's trading at just under $400. I can see that being by 2030 in the closer to $3,000 a share.
It wouldn't surprise me, at least within the next couple of years, so in this term of presidency, if he actually looks at merging all of his companies into the one. And I think that, to me, from an asset management perspective, that actually makes a lot of sense. So he's got some amazing, talking about fingers in pies, but he's got some amazing companies. And of course, he's Elon Musk. And I do see one day in the future them all actually becoming into the one company.
So Kate, to bring you along the journey, they just released a new incentive package for Elon last week. The company is currently at about a $1.1 trillion enterprise value or market cap. If Elon can take it from 1.1 trillion to 8.5 trillion, how much do you think his compensation is going to be?
Oh, don't even know.
Yeah, just take a guess. 100 billion, a billion?
100 billion.
Okay, he's going to get $1 trillion.
Oh, wow.
I was going to say, look at his current wealth and times it by 4.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so he's at 250 bill right now. I don't think he's the richest. I think Larry Ellison just took him.
Yeah, depends on any given day.
Yeah, but it's neck and neck any given day. But yeah, his incentive package, he doesn't get paid. But if he gets to 8.5 trillion of market capitalization, so I think, Tony, you're onto something where he may not be able to literally get there in the current structure. He may have to make some acquisitions to package it all up.
They also didn't think he would make his last incentive.
And then they tried to take it off him.
Well, one individual did who owned $4,000 worth of Tesla shares.
Crazy, right?
Well, you can take it to court. That's exactly what
America,
it did.
unbelievable.
So it's the land of wealthy lawyers.
Yeah, litigious like nothing else, right?
Litigation and wealthy lawyers.
Unbelievable. So, are you investing in US stocks?
US portfolios probably for about the last 7 years has actually been the largest part of our portfolio.
Okay.
So we run, two parts. One's known as a separately managed account and managed discretionary account. So if we're looking after an executive from Microsoft, we might have the do not sell on Microsoft shares and their options. And also too, we wouldn't be buying necessarily if Microsoft shares take up 1.5% of our portfolio, we wouldn't be buying Microsoft shares for them. So that's a managed discretionary account for our sophisticated investors.
Yep.
And then we have the SMA. I look after a lot of not-for-profit and endowment money as well. And that's more it's still invested in portfolios. It's more of very much an ESG focus the majority of the time.
Right.
With charities. So, if you've got a charity that supports homeless veterans, you don't want to have exposure to, Lockheed Martin that builds weapons or even gambling. A lot of homeless veterans, you've got the PTSD, you've got mental health issues, you've got addictions, whether it be alcohol, gambling, tobacco, drugs, etc. So you don't want exposure to those companies that actually force a lot of the issues that come with it as well. So there's a lot of our ESG funds actually being star performers as well. But in saying that, it's realistically from what's known as a separately managed account perspective, it's just helping our individual, very wealthy families in a lot of cases and just normal individuals achieve their goals in the most conservative way possible. So, for example, a lot of those clients might make their money in a business and then end up selling that business for 20, 30, 40, $50 million. We look after the money they don't want to lose.
Yeah.
So they have their play money, go hard money, invest money, buy into other business money, and we'll invest that money that is just that long-term 12, 13, 14%, annual return over rolling 5-year periods. But, as I've always said, a 12% return still doubles your money every 6 years, and you guys are young enough to enjoy multitudes of 6 years ahead of you.
Please God. Crazier things have happened, especially in the last week.
I think on the
right?
Peter Turin podcast, you said you're going to 150. Was that your number?
So I've dollar down.
Why?
I'm going to go to 144, just because the 44 is a special number to me.
Okay.
But yeah, and 150 was the goal.
Is that your dad?
Yeah.
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 Yep.
But I was on a podcast, which I think releases this week, and one of the guys was like, 150? I thought you'd be 144. I was like, actually, yeah, that'll be a good number for me.
Well, I was sitting in a theatre show in New York on the actual day of my 50th birthday, and I told Boyana, I said, well, I'm going to 105. And she actually looked at me and she said, where'd you get 105 from? And I said, I just refused to accept I've hit the halfway point.
Right.
So now I'm 56, but I haven't upped that to 113. So yeah, but I might be joining you soon. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Look, I actually asked Rock on the weekend, I said, can I live to 150? And they said it's beyond we're incapable. The highest person is about 125 at the moment. And it was unique. But I actually think with more science, more data, more knowledge.
Well, I think that, Dr. Karl Kuzlinski, I was in a talk that he gave probably about 5 or 6 years ago now, but as far as he's concerned, we're going to be the last generation to die or the first generation to live forever. And I always use my father as an example of that, who, my father was a non-smoker, non-drinker his whole life, but he held on to stress. He was always that really happy guy who you'd never... the world was wonderful to him. As my mum said, the devil would come in and he'd invite him for a cup of tea, and the devil would walk out all confused saying, God, he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
So it was, but Dad ended up having a stroke at 62, which thankfully was caught early. Otherwise, it would have been debilitating for him. If it was like a decade earlier, probably would have passed. He ended up having a heart attack at 64, then triple bypass, 3 more heart attacks in the last 6 years of his life, Alzheimer's. But he lived for 17 years after. It's just been the 9-year anniversary of his passing last week. But he's actually lived for 17 years after that initial stroke, being kept alive by medication. So it was, and in the last part of his life, he ended up having blood poisoning, but the doctor came and told Mum and I and said, well, just let you know he's also got prostate cancer. Would you like us to operate? And I said, you just told us he's got 6 weeks to live. So from that, but that just goes to show how we're kept alive by things that, just going back a couple of generations, we actually wouldn't have been.
Yes.
Totally.
And I think that's, when you consider that we're not necessarily healthier, so I've still got I put on a lot of weight, Kate. You'd hate this, with your brand and everything you do, but I had to put on weight to swim the English Channel, and I've struggled to get it. So I've dropped 13 of it, but I've still got another 10 to go.
Can help you.
Yes, I know you can. so I certainly know you can. And because of the hours I work, I think I might need your help because just going home.
Outsource it. It's what we do.
I don't even know why I have a fridge at home, to be honest. I'm an empty nester, no children, and I think I have a carton of milk in the fridge. That's it. So I don't know why I even have that. So it's, but I think though the thing is even when you consider the obesity epidemic and there's a whole range of things that are going through and people not sleeping well, and but we still are living longer. I think it's just starting to come down now in the US. I think I saw a statistic where for the first time in many, many decades, the average age of an American male has now dropped by a year and a half. But when you have a look at the obesity epidemic and things
I think
like
what scares me about all of this is we're talking about longevity, but not current health and current health investment. So we talk to the future and how long we want to live, but what are we doing today to reduce the sleep or to improve the sleep, to reduce the stress, to eat better, to move more, to get more sunlight, to be in nature. So those things we're not doing, and that's what's going to get us there. So
I live at the Studley Park side of Kew, and on the weekends I'll always go down and just take my shoes and socks off and walk on the grass. And just simple little things like it's amazing. It's actually just touching the grass. It's with your feet, so it's especially my soft little feet, but it's but just little things like that. But also from the perspective of what I do for a living, you see these adverts, can you retire in $1 million? Well, if we're living to 105 or being kept alive to 105, the answer, it depends what income you want, but the answer is no. So it's...
And taxes can't go up that much, hopefully.
Well, if you're going to rely on government handouts and Social Security, that's not really living, that's paying bills.
Which is going to be a majority of people, unfortunately.
It is. So. I think, Kate, one of the great things about Australia is we do actually have a superannuation system, which is definitely the greatest in the world without a doubt. Unfortunately, though, we always have governments trying to mess with it and trying to take more of it. So it's there, and it was put in place in the first instance so that none of us had to rely on Social Security. Nor, my eldest is now nearly 29. As I've always said, or even a lot of my young colleagues and team members, all you actually have to do is turn up to work. And by turning up to work and you've got 12% compulsory superannuation paid, and you're earning good salaries, 150,000, your retirement is set. Unlike my parents who had to save for retirement with after tax dollars. And so it's, I only joined the industry when superannuation first became compulsory, it was 3%. So we do actually have a generation who are in their 20s who are going to inherit something that, my generation, I'm 56 now, my generation is not going to get that same inheritance, but we are going into the first, it'll be, I predict over the next 2 decades, about $20 trillion changing hands. So if you think of people my age who I went to school with who've now got businesses, valued at 20 or 30 or $40 million, who over the next decade are going to look at retiring, that money can support their grandchildren or give their grandchildren bad habits because they don't need to go and do things. But I openly said to my son and his partner late last year that they've been together for 4 years, and so they're not married as yet. But I did say to them that if you do decide to get married, I'm not going to put $1 towards your wedding, and they were a bit horrified by it. And it was just like, well, at the end of the day, if I pay for it, your mum is going to end up inviting 4,000 of her relatives that you don't know. If you pay for it, you'll have 50 people there. So it's,
we paid for our own and had 50 people.
And that's exactly right. But I think, though, I did say that if you bless me with grandchildren, I'll pay for their education no matter what schools you choose. So from my perspective, I might have to live to 105 if they give me a lot of grandchildren. But it's more the fact of that, that education can actually set a child up for life and actually take pressure off Josh and Gabby, and if Jeremy was to ever get married as well. But it's actually more the fact that from that intergenerational wealth transfer, that's something that our parents couldn't necessarily do.
Yeah.
But they're going to turn up to work. They're going to have a superannuation fund. They not have to worry about their retirement. They have to pay a mortgage. But at the end of the day, they are also going to inherit something that, say, my generation wouldn't.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Kofkin and Bond.
Yep.
I'm going to link all of the details to connect with Tony, both on LinkedIn and his website. And we'll also link your podcast. So if you want some of...
I think it was about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, you came on as a guest.
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
Yep.
How did that rate?
Very well, of course. it's Tobi Skovron. He's one of the most well-known person on earth.
I went to this thing the other night. I'm still out there hustling. I got invited to this Gabby Leibovich, founder of Catch.
Yep.
We've got to have Gabby on.
Yeah. Yeah.
He invited me to his office and he goes, come and network and all the rest of it. And I was like, cool, I'll show up. So I showed up. The amount of people, oh, you're the guy from LinkedIn. Oh, you're the guy from the podcast. Oh, you're the guy from the vlog. You do a vlog with Gavin Appel. I was like, I'm just Tobi.
You're just the guy.
I'm just Tobi.
You're the guy.
Like, just tone it down.
Actually, Tobi, I will tell you, is we're at the Helping Hoops charity events here. So it's we sponsor them and we've been there. So we sponsor a few charities. They're one. But last December last year, I think it was. So you actually one of the guests on stage, I think, that year. So
with Ezzy.
Yep. So it's so I came up and we're having a chat, and then went back to the table, and Rob Rivas said, "How do you know Tobi?" And I said, "I've known Tobi for 25 years since he was a young man who couldn't even grow that beard."
Yes.
But yeah, it's everyone knows Tobi.
Hopefully, only all good. Couple of things just to wrap out. I've actually gone. I'm stunned a little bit. So thank you for your kind words. That was amazing. Helping Hoops are actually they work from here.
Do they?
Yeah. So they've got some open plan desks. Yeah. Yep. My daughter Maddie did their program, Helping Hoops, as part of her 12-13 program.
Yeah.
Brad Davidson, who's on the board, actually just texted me. He works at the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
Yes. Okay.
I'm a huge fan and a sponsor of the Phoenix. We've had Coach Josh King on the pod before as well. We were supposed to have Nathan Sobey, but they were in Perth last night and he mixed up his calendar. So hopefully we can get him when he's not traveling. But Nathan's the captain and a former Australian boomer. I love basketball.
Well, you've always have.
Yeah. So anything. So
he just wasn't tall enough, but he always has.
Well, that's why we call it Hear Me Roar, which is the heart of a lion, but the size of a mouse. So Hear Me Roar. Anyway, guys, Tony Kofkin. Thank you, Tony. It's
Pleasure.
it really is a lot of fun. We've got to spend some more time together.
We do.
Thanks,
Tobi. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you.
All right, guys. After the break, thanks to the guys at Luna. Kate and I'll be back to wrap.
Weareluna.co is a great place for you and your business to start off with phenomenal accounting and legal services. So if you're a startup or a scale-up looking for legal and finance support, or alternatively looking to raise capital, weareluna.co is where you need to be starting off.
Well, I learned a lot. I knew nothing about any of those shares, but got a little bit of Googling to do.
I feel a little bit more competent because I'm constantly in your world talking about nutrition and health and this and that. And I'm like, I'm a bit of a novice, but like when it comes to like tech and entrepreneurship and now more recently stocks.
Yes. And like, Grok. Yeah. I Google you Grok, you know.
Well, actually, yeah. But do you chat GPT stuff?
Oh, I don't have a choice because I Siri it and Siri refers to chat.
Yeah.
So Siri doesn't do anything
You don't have
anymore.
a chat GPT or a
I do.
premium account? Yeah. We're finding what we're seeing now, this goes to when Gavin Appel came on the show a couple months back. A lot of people have gone away from the Google searching.
Yeah, no.
And they're using
straight to chat.
GPT. I like Grok because of Elon.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of Sam Altman, but I do have a premium account with both of them. So it's just nice to get comparisons.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the stocks at hand. I love tech.
Yes.
So, you know, Tesla's the number one holding for me. Palantir's a strong one. Nvidia. I've got some Apple stuff, but it hasn't really moved that well for me. I've got a couple of others and I'm hyper-focused on it. But it was great to kind of have a bit of a flex of a muscle in front of Tony because I feel, you know, when there's other guests coming into this world that you've brought on the show, I feel like I'm so duck out of water.
No. Not at all.
But Tony's great. Kofkin and Bond is where you can find him.
Yeah, I think I need a portfolio. I've got none of this.
Well, we need to have a chat, Tony and I, because I'm about to make a pretty serious play on something.
Yeah.
And would love his advice. So guys, if you're listening out there, go check out Tony. Check him out on LinkedIn, Kofkin and Bond, and also the podcast, which I've linked all in the show notes. Kate, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
I'll see you on the next one.
See you in the next one.
All right.